Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome to my channel, and today we are gonna go on an epic adventure where we count all of my books. It's gonna be a lot, and we also are going to be packing them all up. Alright you guys, so if you have seen my last couple videos, you know that I am in the process of making the move from Columbus, Ohio to Charleston, South Carolina. And by the time you see this video, I am already down south and hopefully unpacking all of my books. But as I'm filming this, we have not even begun. You guys know I love books. That's the main vibe of this channel, cozy, bookish content. And I am someone who really does like to own books. I know a lot of people like their e-readers, a lot of people like to get books from the library, and I should probably do more of both of those things. But I just love a physical book, and I'm always looking for deals. I get books from a lot of cheap places like Book Outlet, thrift stores, half-price books, and over the course of my life, I just have accumulated a lot of books, which I'm okay with because I want to have a very epic library one day. But we are less than a month from our move, and it is time to start packing some things up. And one of the first things that we are going to pack up, my husband and I, are all of my books. But first, I thought it would be fun to go around to the different spots in my house where I do have books and count them. I'm curious to see how many I actually have, and I have done some decluttering over the last few months, but I'm sure I'll pull out a few more as we go through them and decide that they're just not quite good enough to make the move. So we'll be boxing all the books up later in this video, but for now, let's count everything that I have. We're starting in my bedroom, and I have this corner shelf, and it's kind of like random stuff that's on here. It's pretty much just books that are on my radar, books that I would really like to read within the next few months. So I probably will keep out like 6 books or so, books that I can read as we are leading up to the move, as well as when we first get to our new house, and I haven't yet unboxed all the books. So I'm not going to show every single book that I have, but I will pull out some ones that I am especially looking forward to. The Starless Sea has been on my TBR for a while. I'm really excited to read this, and I think this is going to be one that I pull out to read within the next few weeks. Also, really need to finish Court of Thorns and Roses. I finished the second book, I want to say like October or November, but I've just kind of been putting off reading the third one just because it is very thick. I've also been looking forward to starting Mistborn Era 2. I read the original 3 last January 2023, but I have yet to start the second era. Red Rising's another series that I really want to get into. I have all the books, just need to sit down and read them. And let me know if you guys want to see me reading like the whole Red Rising series or a whole Sarah J. Maas series, or if there is another series that you want me to read and review, just let me know down below. But okay, let's go ahead and count all these books that are in the corner. So I've got 23 books just on this shelf alone, which is honestly more than I expected. And I also have my little side table here, which I do have some books in, probably like 6, I would guess. So let's see what's in there. This one I just picked up, and it is next up on my list. It's Tom Hanks, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece. I've also got the Screw Tape Letters, which I started like 6 months ago and kind of forgot about. Need to finish this. Madly Deeply, I'm also working through. It's my current nonfiction. Divine Rivals, I'll finish up today as I'm filming this. Then we've got The White Lady, and then Kate Atkinson short story collection, which I also started a really long time ago and never finished. So that brings our total to 28 books, and we're not even done in the bedroom yet. So I've got this cute little display on my trunk where I have like all my sweatpants and sweatshirts, and I have 2 more decorative books. And then we're still not done because I have 2 more decorative shelves where I have some collections. This one is from my grandparents' house. That brings us to 36. And then I am collecting the Chiltern Classics. So we have 41 books just in my bedroom alone. Now we've made our way out to my living room area, and as a bookish person, I really do like to decorate with books, as well as read the books that I do buy to decorate with. So I've got another little collection of books going. These are the Canterbury Classics, which I believe you can find at Barnes & Noble and probably a lot of other places. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books there. And then also on this sideboard, I have 2 more decorative books that I got at some kind of thrift sale. And we are not done yet with the decorative books in my living room. We have a bunch on this shelf here. A lot of these ones are coffee table books or books that I was gifted. Also a couple more really cool vintage books that I got at a sale. So we've got 11 books just on this shelf, and I think that is actually everything in the living room. Okay, now we are just a few steps away from my living room. We are in my morning room area, which is where I like to hang out and read. This is actually where I do a lot of my reading. I also have my desk here where I do like to do a lot of work. And again, I just have some cool decorative vintage books in here. So let's count them up really quick. I have a little shelf here. I have some books here. I'm not gonna count my like Bible study books because those aren't really books, but I do have some devotionals that I'll count. And then lastly, another little shelf with more cool vintage decorative books that I got from my grandparents. So that's definitely more than I thought here. I have 15 books in this morning room alone, most of them decorative, most of them I won't really read, but they're still books. And now we are gonna go downstairs where the absolute bulk of my books are. Okay, so behind me is what you see right when you walk down my basement stairs. I call it our little library area, study area now. I am super excited that in our next house we are actually gonna have a true study, so that's where a lot of my books are gonna live. This shelf over here is kind of like mixed TBR. It's also where most of my series are that I have already read. This bookshelf is a true TBR. I have not yet read any of these books. And like I said, I have already gone through and decluttered quite a bit of books. So let's quickly count up both of these shelves before we move on to another area of books, mostly all of the books that I have already read. Okay, so we're at the TBR shelf. Sorry for the bad lighting. It's a basement, but I will quickly count these. So I have 102 books just on that shelf alone. Honestly, I really had no idea how many were on there. Like if I had to guess, I don't know what I would have said, but kind of dissatisfying that it wasn't a perfect 100. And now let's move on to the other shelf. It's the same bookcase, and I'm assuming it'll be a little bit less because some of these books are a bit thick and I haven't used all the space on the shelf. And we're adding 71 more to the count. We've still got 2 more serious areas of books to count. So before we get there, definitely let me know down in the comments what you think the total is going to be. I kind of forgot about this section, not gonna lie, but we have another shelf, again, same bookcase as the other 2. They are the Billy bookcases from IKEA. On this bookcase, we have a lot of our spiritual, religious books, as well as nonfiction. I do have a little bit of overflow historical fiction down there as well, but for the most part, it is nonfiction, and it's kind of like half read, half TBR. I just know which ones I've read. And there's actually probably a lot on here because some of these books are pretty skinny. We're already on 60 and I'm through the first 2 shelves. And the grand total for that bookcase is 112 books. Again, a lot of them are pretty skinny. A lot of the spiritual books are pretty small, so a lot fit on there. Last major section of books, we have all of these that I've read. I have gotten rid of a fair amount that I've read that were not my favorites. I didn't think I'd reread, but I do like to keep books that I like, and so I did really like all of these. And we have 131 books on these 2 shelves, and we're so close to the end, but I have a couple more shelves of collector's books, I would say, kind of decorative books. My husband is a big Brandon Sanderson fan, so I've gotten him for a few different holidays some of these Brandon Sanderson's collector's editions, and just 12 books there. So let me quickly go ahead and count up all these books. It is going to be a lot. And just kidding, I forgot I have another little shelf of books that I need to put up on my red shelf. So let me count those really quickly. And we've got another 10. But let me add 2 more because I'm pretty sure my mom is borrowing 2 of my books right now. And according to my calculations, my total number of books is 516. And I feel like if I had to guesstimate, that's probably about what I would guess. I think 1,000 is how many you have to have like a personal library, and I'm sure I will acquire that many over the next few years. And let me know down below, how many books do you have? Are you someone who does just go to the library and return, or buy books and then get rid of them? Or are you like me and you really like to have them? I really like to reread books, so I will be rereading a lot of these that I did very much enjoy. And I think also, as someone who does talk about books on the internet, it's nice, it's not necessary, but it's nice to be able to have them to hold up when you are talking about them. And everybody's got their thing, right? And mine is definitely buying books. But I think later today, if not tomorrow, we're gonna start boxing these babies up. So I will see you then.
We can start loading it up. This was not torn by me. It was already torn. Books. TBR. I'm like a little Easter egg. I'll be over here in the corner.